Hey, Barbie. Can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
You can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes.
This is the best day ever.
It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now till forever. Do you guys ever think about dying?
When my heart breaks,
Some things have been happening that might be related.
when my world shakes.
Cold shower, falling off my roof, and my heels are on the ground.
Hello, welcome to this What Do You Want to Watch Spoilercast for Greta Gerwig's latest film, Barbie. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, Dylan Blight.
I'm just a Ken.
Okay. And bring in the Kennedy, our good friend from Radio Watson, Buddy Watson.
And everywhere else, I'm a 10.
I think you're a 10 here as well. So,
Thank you.
Yep. So we're all super excited to talk about the Barbie movie that just released in cinemas. One of the most anticipated movies of the weekend, but of the year.
I was about to say of the year, yeah, easily.
I mean, he's in the top 2 of the weekend. So, let's just dive straight in. So please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about the plot, themes, and any of the movies. So if you haven't watched it, come back later. It's playing in cinemas everywhere. You've probably seen it already. But let's jump to a discussion of Barbie, directed by Greta Gerwig, written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, based on Barbie by Mattel, starring Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, America Ferrera, Kate McKinnon, Issa Rhea Perlman, Will Ferrell, Cera, Ariana Greenblatt, Anna Cruz Kayne, Emma Mackey, Harry Neff, Alexandra Shipp, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Simu Leo, Ncuti Gatwa, Scott Evans, Jamie Demetriou, Connor Swindells, Sharon Rooney, Nicola Rita Ara, Dua Lipa, and Helen Mirren. Barbie
John
and
Cena!
Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in the colourful and seemingly perfect world of Barbie Land. However, when they get the chance to go to the real world, they soon discover the joys and perils of living among humans. Buddy, what did you think of Barbie?
Absolutely loved it. And the first 10 to 15 minutes, I was semi-worried because it was ultra camp. And I'm like, okay, it's like camp to a point where they're not really making any meta jokes, or when's the existential crisis stuff coming in, and the dolls are moving around how they would as if someone's kid's playing with them. Like almost a little tinge of how long is this rainbows and lollipops and everything going to go on? But it clicked out of that pretty quick, and it just elevated and went from there into the absurdity, brilliance that it was. And it sucks to say, but especially for a Barbie movie, but I really feel like Ryan Gosling kind of stole the show, and Margot Robbie was great, and I think everyone was actually great, and America Ferrera was as well, specifically one of her speeches towards the end, which is like the real stirring moment. But yeah, Ryan Gosling stole the show a little bit, and I was anticipating that performance, but I didn't expect it to be kind of what it was. It was like channeling pro wrestling vibes with his big jacket and the bum bag and the 2 shades and stuff, and maybe that's why I vibe with it a little. But yeah, I've been listening to the soundtrack all day, and yeah, I'd love to see it again.
All right, Dylan, what do you think of Barbie?
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic. I think that America Ferrera sort of going to get undervalued in this, and she's like the most interesting character as the core human character, and I sort of wish that her and her kid actually had more time. That's my sort of annoyance with the film as it is. Ryan Gosling's amazing. Margot Robbie is good, but playing stereotypical Barbie, I guess, the problem is you are stereotypical Barbie, and that's unfortunately only going to go so far. You just don't get a chance to do much. So I think that unfortunately is what it is. I do think the movie goes it doesn't know how to end, is my main complaint. Mm-hmm. The movie builds up to such a high in that last act, as they all all the Barbies trick them all and do the big fight scene and all that sort of stuff. And it's fantastic. And then that last 10 minutes, I'm like, I don't know. I was like, where are you going? Like, what is happening right now? I was sort of like, you could tell they didn't know how to end the movie, and they were like, are we going to end it with a super like laugh out loud moment? Are we sort of trying to do a serious moment? And they do the thing with the creator of Barbie, and then they flash to heaven scene, and then they end the movie with a joke about Barbie turning into a real woman, and you know, like what's life like for a real woman, I guess, or quote unquote, you know, like I just felt like all of that. I'm like, where you go? Like, I don't know if that was my main thing. I definitely feel like the movie is like just amazing, and that last 10 minutes sort of would bring it down from like a 9 to an 8 to me, like as far as just not being able to land it as well as it was going up until that point. But otherwise, it is hilarious. It's laugh out loud. It's got such an amazing cast, very colorful production design, as we've been reading about for months, is just insane in Barbie Land.
Do you think there was enough pink there to create a?
Oh no, it could have been easily more. They should have just painted the sand pink. You know, keep going. Yeah, there's just
like
probably...
you saw that shot of Ken lying on the beach. I'm pretty sure the pink sand was
true.
pink.
There's so many just like weird, funny jokes in this that just made me laugh about like when Ryan Gosling's explaining that he's not he's not a lifeguard. He does beach. He's like, I just do beach. Like there's just so many funny jokes. And it's definitely I also love, like, thoughts aside for the movie itself, I'd love that I had packed cinema. My quick story that I'm always going to remember for this movie is, so I went to the Flicks of the Chick screening. Right, so firstly, the dude comes out, turns on the light, comes out, says to the front, says, "Hey, we're so happy to see a packed, sold out 2 screenings tonight we've got for the premiere of Barbie. It's fantastic to see so many people back in cinemas." And
he said, "All men, get out of here!"
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, "Yeah," and then it's like, "Oh, they did a lucky door prize, so they're like, look under your seat, someone's won this Barbie," and someone won like a Barbie doll or something like that, which was fun, I guess. But then my favorite part that I stand out for my screening is during the big America Ferrera speech that Buddy was hinting at before, which is fantastic. After she finishes, these 2-3 girls in the middle just start like cheering and clapping and stuff, and then from the back of the cinema I hear another couple girls just yell out, "Yeah, sister!" And I was just like, this culmination. So yeah, it was a great cinema experience as well, which I thought was make it stand out for the year.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. I've really enjoyed most of the movie. That ending just kind of lost me. I don't know. It just didn't click. But I feel like they definitely kind of painted her into a corner. Barbie herself as a corner. Ken, clearly the highlight. Just you know, it's weird that 2023 is going to come down to like it's going to be about 2 massive movies that are about a guy being unable to deal with the girl he likes not liking him back. You know, between this and the Super Mario Brothers movie, and having massive songs about it as well. Yeah, it's so delightful. I did enjoy like the campiness of the start. Like I thought it was a really fun way to show the world of Barbie Land. Just from like them not actually drinking any liquids to them just floating everywhere and suddenly changing clothes. And yeah, super fun. Fantastic cast across the board. I think Margot Robbie probably has the hardest job because she is playing the straight woman the entire time, really. For the most part, like she gets a couple of comedic moments in that, but I feel like only really when she's up against America Ferrera and the daughter does she get to be the comedic force in those scenes. Every other time she's kind of like the straight woman, you know? But yeah, what did you guys think of Margot Robbie? It's Barbie as a whole, her journey through the film. Nothing.
It's fine.
It's fine, yeah.
I mean, the movie goes for I feel like the thing is, like, walking away from the movie, Margot Robbie's Barbie's story is the least interesting to me. Her, like, the big female empowerment speech is not really about her. It's just about females in general. And we keep going back to the America Ferrera speech, which you can tell is like the heart and soul of the movie. Like with the, and
that was probably the first thing Greta Gerwig wrote.
Yeah, well, as soon as Greta Gerwig was announced to be doing the Barbie movie, I was like, okay, cool, that's perfect. It means it's not Barbie, dumb Barbie, bimbo Barbie. It means it's going to be a feminist empowered Barbie movie. And that's pretty much what we got, with a tinge of still keeping it Mattel. I don't actually know how Mattel signed off in this movie. It's crazy that it actually got made, because it both makes fun of them as a company while also pointing out the history of the Barbie doll and, you know, all these things. It's sort of crazy it got made. So, but Margot Robbie's Barbie character, like that arc and then the payoff at the end, is I definitely don't feel like it was any win. Like, she's fine, but I just don't care for that character arc at all. Like, it's probably one of the weakest parts of the movie, which is weird to say, but yeah, like I definitely feel like the female empowerment element of the movie is strong, but it's nothing to do with Margot Robbie's Barbie.
Yeah, I would have loved to have her delved into the like coming to experience being a woman, like because obviously she's connected to America Ferrera's character, with her having the cellulite Barbie and the what was it, thoughts of death Barbie and whatever, just creating and kind of implanting those thoughts into Margot's stereotypical Barbie. I think the best part was when she was like, she kind of gave up and was
Lying face down on the ground.
Yeah, just lying face down on the ground until, you know, she gets to talk. That was really fun. Although, you know, it was fun to see them in the real world for a little while. I thought that was going to be a bigger portion of the movie. But no, straight back to Barbie Land in like, I think they spent like 15 minutes in the real world. It's long enough to get kidnapped to do an action car sequence. But yeah, I mean, Margot Robbie, great job. She did what she needed to do. And she did lead up to one of the best jokes was like, she's all, oh no, I'm ugly and terrible. And then like Helen Mirren's like, it's hard to pick this one. Is the actress being played by Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, I think did a good job, but it's a hard, you know, it's the least interesting.
I'd put it this way, that the problem is that all of her worries, like celluloid, all this sort of stuff, it's America Ferrera's worries. And that's why I kind of wish that she had more time, because all of those are just projected onto the stereotypical Barbie. Like, but you never actually get to see that character come back and deal with those issues or how she feels about them. You just see them projected onto stereotypical Barbie and made into a bit.
Yep. All right, let's talk about Ken. Ryan Gosling clearly stealing the show. But I love the way they set up the Kens in general, just being superfluous. You know, the whole thing is they want to be looked at by Barbies. They're Barbie's boyfriend, but they don't have any of the benefits of being Barbie's boyfriend. And
can I come over to that, Barbie? To do what? I don't know.
I don't know what they want. It's always girls' night. And then he comes to the real world and discovers the patriarchy,
which is about horses.
Oh man, his obsession with horses is hilarious. I love how he says, "Once I learned it wasn't about horses, I didn't care as much." Kind of lost interest. Just his whole breakdown at the end is hilarious. But yeah, Ken, the buddy.
Yeah, fantastic. I think they also did a good job of like, not like they villainizing the Kens and obviously the male patriarchy and everything, but towards the end, like you were saying, when he was like, I lost interest when I forgot it was horses, like kind of him also getting lost to the idea of that and having his own caught up in that, but his own kind of maybe issues, and Barbie kind of like, you got your problems as well, not just like, it could have been so easy to get trapped into Ken's villainous or whatever, and then their kind of own insecurities as well. So I thought they did a great job with that, with like Ryan Gosling's last scene. But yeah, the like when they're going to fight and the whole kind of I'm Ken song, the flash dance thing, the rivalry with Simon Liu's Ken. Yeah, I loved it all. And then yeah, it's just like you said before, the real world stuff, there wasn't too much of it, but the thing I liked was I guess I guess it's going back to Mattel and everything, and back to Barbie, but the whole idea that they did address the whole, oh no, Barbie is not for everybody, or set women back, or the daughter kind of giving that speech at the high school. So there was enough there, but yeah, I loved Ryan Gosling and everything. Like I said before, the pro wrestling vibes from just his like get up, all the like film bro jokes with the Godfather, and there's a Snyder cut and everything. Yeah, it was...
oh man, the Snyder cut joke, that cracked me up.
But like you were saying before, I guess he had more range and more kind of things to do or to showcase in the script. But I thought Margot Robbie was still perfect. It's just that Ryan Gosling had a little bit more things to maybe work with script wise, but they were both perfect for those roles. So.
Yeah, Dylan.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole Ken side of the movie is just funny to me because ultimately, although you don't see it in the trailers, what the movie ends up being is basically feminists come back to strike against the men's right movement, and the men's right movement is basically displayed as a bunch of fucking idiots, like dumb idiots who think they know what they want, but they absolutely have no.
They want their Mojo Dojo Casa house.
It's literally like I couldn't help but think about all those times you'll be like the men, like you'll see the people on Twitter will be like, yeah, well, what happened? Why don't we have a International Men's Day? And then people are like, you do. Like, it's a day. None of you choose to pretend it. No, there's literally a day like that's men's right. There's like you choose to exist. Yeah, like it's like So it's sort of funny because I feel like that's exactly what it's supposed to be making fun of. And then just being able to have someone like Ryan Gosling who's amazing at just about everything he's in, but when he gets to play these characters, he does comedy, especially physical comedy, so well. It's like sort of an underrated element of his is his physical comedy aspect, and that just the sunglasses on top of the sunglasses, the way he like slides down the car hood, like just the little things that make the interaction and the way he moves and just tries to play up such a like I'm cool and a moment and stuff like that, and like the way he's dressing is just absolutely idiotic, and how they are all dressing is idiotic, but what they think is cool. So yeah, I loved it. Obviously, I feel like he's going to be it's funny because it's one of those things where that Ryan Gosling Ken's going to be the most loved character coming out of this movie when like he's the bad guy. Like, I mean, he's an idiot. He's a dumb bad guy. Like, he's not like trying to take over the world bad guy, but
no,
he's a dumb.
He's definitely
bad guy. He's the bad guy.
He's the problem. Just delightful from start to finish. I appreciate the sad boy. He just wants to be loved. Even when he is being a super douche, he's super excited when Barbie says she wants to be his long distance non-committal girlfriend. I can't remember the exact line. Sublime.
That was excellent. I loved that.
So many ridiculous things. I just love the whole Kens in general. Like, they're all rivals with each other. Obviously, Simu Liu, like the other massive Ken. Just the whole Ken ecosystem, I guess, is so weird. And then they're planning for the big fight as well, and Ken and with the Kingsley Adair and Ncuti Gatwa, like talking about how they're going to take him out in the big beach fight with a beach off. Man,
I'm gonna beat you off. You can beach me off if you try. Like,
we don't have any weapons. We got rackets.
That was one of my early concerns, like not just the camp stuff, but they were showing a lot of like front-loaded trailer, like lines jokes and everything, jokes. I'm like, okay, but like I said before, it just elevated after
the trailers
just saved a lot of
in retrospect stuff. I feel like the trailer showed a lot from the first little bit of this movie, and it seemed like the rest of the movie was going to take place in the real world.
Yeah, right. Because obviously you get the joke of them traveling through all the
the trailer sets it up with the whole like you've got to choose the sandals moment. Like that's the movie.
Yes,
like.
But I must say, I did love in the real world when they did the she's escaping the Mattel building,
Chase?
and then and they put the Charlie XCX song on the speed drive, and
Yeah.
they're running all silly, but it's in the real world, but they're all acting like
But
idiots.
it's so cartoony,
Anyway.
yeah, you know, like it's like a Scooby-Doo cartoon.
Yeah.
So, I mean, while we're in the real world, let's talk about Mattel. Let's talk about Will Ferrell. It's fun. I don't know what their ultimate purpose is. You know, dude, like.
What? No, I don't think you're not supposed to actually. I appreciate the movie gives you enough that you can sort of try and piece together how
They're
this
just like,
Barbie world
they just
works.
poked fun at us a little bit.
But yeah, because like you get that whole scene where they cut away, where he's like, all these Ken dolls are coming out with their suits. Like it just like,
Ken.
well, it's like
The
whatever's
Mojo
happening in
Jojo
the
Casa
world,
houses,
it just magically makes those toys happen. I mean, you can try and make sense.
Everyone
It
else-
doesn't matter.
yeah.
It's like whatever. It doesn't affect anything. Will Ferrell was Will Ferrell, but he was fine for this role. I think it was fine. That part where he walks up and he's like, I know what you're trying to say. You're trying to accuse me, but we've had a woman running this. There's 2 women that have been running this place for
2 people
years,
ran this
and
company.
some people ran this company, and I am
I'm the son of a mother.
I'm son of a mother, and I'm the father of a daughter. What? No, whatever.
And also, I'm a nephew of an aunt.
Yeah.
Big
Oh, man.
Australian politician vibes.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
How can be
Um,
against women if I'm married to a woman?
Yeah. How can you get them?
If Scott Morrison had done that speech, she would have been fine. It is super weird, like, even just from the moment Connor Swindells gets called about the Barbies, about Ken and Barbie running around in the real world. They're in these cubicles, super weird Mattel, you know. But I do love they all need to go as a massive boardroom group to everything. It's like the tandem bike that they go back to the Barbie world is like at least 10, 12 deep.
Quick,
I don't know
find
if
some
it-
rollerblades.
Yeah. Just the idea of how to get to Barbie Land, hilarious. Other Barbies, I think Kate McKinnon really, she stood out as well as weird Barbie. Obviously with given a lot of leeway with her body presence and having to have limbs at weird angles, and describing the weirdness of the world.
Yeah. I was gonna say they did a really good job with the Barbies, like on the representation front. There's a trans Barbie, you've got a non-binary Barney, like as far as like the actors playing the roles, and then you've got I can't remember but there's obviously a Barbie in the wheelchair. You got you've got like I can't remember the actress name, but like a larger person as like obviously they made a really good job to do which Barbie as a like in the real world obviously over the recent years has made a better trying to put out more variations of Barbie that represent real world and real body types and etc. So that's what they've tried to do in the movie as well. I wouldn't say one stood out to me. Probably like Issa Rae's one probably gets the most time other than like Kate McKinnon, but
Any other standout?
Yeah. You're missing
Alan.
a big Alan. Correct.
Alan, man.
I'm talking about
Sorry.
fucking
Marcus
Alan.
Who is also a Barbie, I
Hey, man.
guess. Where he kicks ass. Like, I just did not expect that. His comedic stuff is some of the best stuff. Like, if you think about his role in This Is the End, which is one of my favorite movies, like the whole Rihanna stuff, like he just does that kind of comedy quite
Against
well.
type,
And I
type,
wish he would be in more things like that. But yeah, I loved all the kind of the Alan jokes. We fit the same clothes, or I want to get out of here. What are you doing? Don't turn around. And
I'm never getting out of here.
And he was trying to like
as soon as they start working out that they need to build that wall the other sideways, we'll never get out of here.
And I loved it. There's like a little hints of like he's trying to climb over the fence as well. It's quicker. Just go around. It's the same thing that like Will Ferrell was doing as well. So it's kind of like hinting, the little DNA that, as much as he feels out of place, maybe he's not.
Yeah. I thought Alan was fantastic.
So
Michael Cera
good.
did such a good job.
Just It's a nice contrast to everybody else.
Just his whole like, I'll take care of this, and he just goes up and starts punching people left, right, center. It's great. Also, the part of them where they're all in their suits and he tries to climb over that fence, but he's just incapable.
Yeah,
It's
excellent.
like, Alan, go around. Fucking ridiculous.
Any other standout moments or like jokes?
The end joke was wild with the gynecologist. Just
Didn't work for me. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I just think that's such a like
it was so blunt and like definitive, especially how you like had all these heartfelt
yeah.
moments of like, do you choose to be human or Barbie, and have the heaven stuff. Like, yeah, the end. I didn't really vibe too much with the end. I thought the joke was like full on at the end. Not like in a bad way or anything. I just think it's like such a blunt joke. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe they just ended it like that. That was wild.
Oh, yeah, no.
The other thing,
Did someone to kind of check? You know, did they really make her a real girl?
It was weird in my showing though at the cinema because it was packed, but then I felt like hardly any people were laughing in our cinema. It was like me and Kim were the loudest, and towards the end we just like lost it after that. But I felt like we had a really poor crowd, and as people were going in, me and Kim and I we commented like, oh, there's a lot of young people kind of going in here, like young in my regards, like under 25, under 20. It was like, oh, have they not, like, maybe they haven't suffered enough in life to get some of the really self-deprecating existential crisis, depression and anxiety type jokes. Because I was losing it all, like the anxiety Barbie and depression Barbie, and scrolls Instagram 7 hours a day, and like, oh fuck, no, I'm depression Barbie, fuck. So yeah, I was kind of wondering that, like, have some people not suffered enough to get this kind of this humor? Is it for the people that have gone through their crisis already in life?
Yeah, my crowd was pretty solid. Like, I didn't have too many problems. There was a mother who brought her kids.
Yeah, I had a couple kids in mine, and I wondered how
they lost interest like halfway through. One of them was running around and they had to leave. So.
It's definitely not a kids' movie, is the thing.
No,
it's the movie, much like the story, is targeted at people aged America Ferrera's character's age. Like, that's the target audience. It's not targeted at 20-year-olds.
It's not for the daughter. It's for the mother.
It's not for the 20-year-olds. It's not for the 12, 16-year-olds. It's for the fucking people our age. Really,
26 to 40, I reckon.
Yeah, and in specifically the girls that age, like who played with the dolls, and now they're adults and they have their own kids. Like, that's that is literally the target audience. The movie tells you straight up what the target audience is.
And the other one would be like the perennial, like, constantly online people that are younger as well, that kind of maybe they've already forced themselves into depression, anxiety from just being always tapped in.
Well, it's funny because the movie obviously has such a, like, it is going to be one of the biggest movies of the year. It's like done such a phenomenal marketing job. And it's of course that there is a stage where that like you reach a stage with any good marketing where it kind of just steamrolls and like the movie markets itself at a point. But like, I still give them credit where it's due for like starting that ball, because my local cinema just decked out Barbie. People going in pink. When I went and saw Oppenheimer last night, there were still people lined up for that screen that night, all in pink. My indie theater here, they had pictures on their Facebook. They had like a massive night where they was having people take pictures, all dressed up, people cosplaying as Ken and Barbie. Like, this movie is like sort of one of the tentpole pop culture events of the year. That's going to attract such a wide range of audience, which is hilarious because it's a fucking Barbie movie.
I think Kim was saying they had 100 brands that they kind of like signed license or franchise kind of marketing deals with, and then like they've only used like 50 to 60 so far. Like, kind of Kim's on that side of the thing have had a look. Like, you see like Grilled's, Peter Alexandra, like even JJ's. There's like so many I can't name, just kind of things off the top of my head. But I really think Google it's kind of like
had like a thing. Dylan, I tried. I went to Grilled, sold out.
No, it popped up again on my app today. It said, "Hey, it's back." I said, "That's great. I'd love to get it, but I can't."
Fucking.
I know. I'm like checking multiple stores. Nothing.
All right.
I also want Ryan Gosling's "I'm Ken Enough" tie-dye hoodie.
I'm sure that will
see that. Tag me.
Seeing as we kind of came back to the ending, how do we feel about the roof Mandler character. Did you realize who that was when Rhea Perlman showed up earlier in the
No.
movie?
Of course not.
Okay.
Most people,
I had a
highly
hint, but
doubt. Who
yeah.
the fuck is going to be honest?
I watched the Barbie Toys That Made Us episode, so
Okay.
I know who she was kind of.
I'm going to say most people are not going to know who that
No,
was
yes.
supposed to be. And I thought at first it was just going to be some throwaway gag when she's running around Mattel. When she showed up, I assumed that's like the creator of Barbie or some shit. I have no idea. And then for them to make it such I actually don't like it. I'm going to put my foot down and say I don't like it. I think that having that moment in the Mattel was one thing. Having her be the key point at the end of the movie didn't work for me. Yeah, it doesn't work for me. I don't like it. Like her creator coming in and having this fucking Morpheus and Neo weird moment. I was like, nah.
We already had that.
Yeah.
With Kate McKinnon.
Exactly. So, nah. I definitely feel like that is the one narrative choice that didn't work for me.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right. Any other favorite jokes? Let me tell you. When the radio changed to Matchbox 20's Push, very funny. We laughed. And then when they're all playing it for Barbie for several hours, hilarious.
Was this say like pops?
I don't know
like 4
why.
hours later
I don't know why it is. Yes, I don't know why it's so funny, but it was.
I will say this soundtrack banger. Like the whole soundtrack.
Hot take. I don't think they should have had Barbie Girl from Aqua, the remix in the movie.
It's not a remix. It just samples it, right?
Yeah, but whatever it was, it did. Yeah, I like it.
I think all the songs are good.
Greta Gerwig's gut was right.
Fair enough. Obviously, we've all heard the Dua Lipa one the most, I feel, because that's the trailer song.
Mm-hmm.
Barbie Word one, that's the remix or whatever. That was teased in the trailer. I think that's fine. Charlie XCX,
Speed Drive is my favorite.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's actually
and
my
then
favorite song. Yeah.
Towards the end they have Butterflies by Gale, which is kind of like sampling Butterflies by Crazy Town, but with like kind of like a rock hard edge to it. That's sick as well.
I was gonna say because there's some stuff on here I don't think is fully original. Like,
what was I made for? Billie Eilish. That was in the movie. I love that. That was really good. And the one before that on the soundtrack, Home by Haim.
Haim sounds really good.
I just love them anyway.
Yeah, so I reckon this is probably the best. I mean, original soundtrack so far for the year.
Okay.
I don't reckon it'll be topped. I can't think of anything else.
Can't think of a movie that's going to top it. Yeah.
I can't think of a movie that'll come out that'll have a sound like. I'm talking like original soundtrack, not score.
Score,
right?
yeah.
Score, different case, but I can't even think of another movie that's going to come out this year that would put on something like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other final thoughts on Barbie?
No, I do. I do want to come back and say again. I feel like hopefully once everyone gets down past the talking about the funny jokes and all that sort of stuff, that we can have more time to. And I would love to read more people pull apart that America Ferrera speech, because I think that was a brilliantly written centerpiece of the movie. Yeah, and just very well delivered by her. And I definitely feel like that's going to be the most underappreciated moment of the movie, yet it is literally the moment where my entire cinema went silent and just listened until those two girls like started clapping, because everyone was just like, now you could be in it. The problem is you could get a shitty audience with a bunch of dude bros who start yelling shit at screen, and I'm sure that's going to happen because a bunch of people are going to get offended.
They're going to be for Kens.
They're going to be sitting there feeling, and they're going to realize they're fucking Kens is the problem. However, my cinema, I heard everyone hold their breath. And I could tell that everyone was intently listening, nodding along, and then literally as those couple girls just started clapping, and then, yes, sister. Like, I had the perfect audience for that moment, and yeah, I thought it was fantastic.
Yep. It was great.
Yep. All right. Let us know what you thought of Barbie by going to explosion.com/Twitter, if Twitter's still running. Otherwise, find us at Explosion Pod on social medias, or go to our Discord at explosion.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars. Anything, leave 5 stars. Or just tell people about the show. course, check out Radio Watson on all podcast services. I'm sure he'll be back eventually.
Check us out on Instagram.
Or find Buddy at Buddy_12. No, Buddy12. Buddy Watson 12?
I don't know.
One of those.
Just go to Twitter and
just check the show notes.
Chant my name three times in the mirror.
And if you've enjoyed this episode, thoughts with $1, head on over to our Ko page at explosion.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, remember, you're Ken enough. Ken enough? Is that what the line?
You're just a Ken. Yeah.
You're just a Ken. I'm just a Ken.
If this got
Ken is
out,
me.
this could mean extremely weird things for our world. This would be catastrophic!
We haven't played with Barbie since we were like 5 years old. Oh.
No one rests until this doll is back in a box.
Even if nobody else sings along.
Humans only have one ending.
Get that Barbie!
Ideas live forever.
No, I won't let you do just one appendectomy.
But I'm a man.
But not a doctor.
Can I talk to a doctor?
You are talking to a doctor.
And I need a clicky pen?
No.
A sharp thing?
No.
There he is. Doctor!
Somebody get security.